Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, on my main channel, my Rick Keppen YouTube channel, I did just post that I received a huge order of miniature wargaming terrain in the 15mm scale from Eslo Terrain in Germany. Go check that video out. I unboxed the whole thing. But now it's time to actually sit down and play a game of Battlefields of Mana. Now that is not what this video is. Though I may do a recorded video with this terrain in the future, but no, this video, I figure, for the Battlefields of Mana channel, let's take a closer look at some of these terrain pieces, and so I can really kind of go into detail about how much I absolutely love them. So as you can see, for our initial battle setup here, we have a couple of buildings, we have a bridge over a river, a water feature, and also this dirt road with some fields. Now the trees are my own creation. I think I did a whole video on these as well, not on this channel, but on another channel, which I absolutely love. They're just, I believe, woodland scenics trees, but I glued them to these wooden bases and flocked them, and in some cases maybe went a little overboard with the animals and stuff. I don't know why that doesn't focus so well, but we have a lot to cover, not including the trees. So let's start taking a look at some of this stuff. Of course, probably the most eye-catching thing, maybe besides the buildings, is the river. This 15mm scale water feature. And I mean, I just hope that this gets through, the digital recording process of how freaking awesome this river is. This is a 45-degree section. I'll show off next a 90-degree section. And so you can see what a 15mm figure looks like in there. It just looks so good. Do you see how they flock this? And so, I mean, they have the whole river bed down there that you can see, and all the grasses, the little tufts, and how modular it is. On the bottom, they stamp Eslo, so you know it's them. And again, if you've never heard of Eslo Terrain, this is how it comes right out of the box. Here was the bottom of the other one as well. So yeah, super impressive. They have the 45s, the 90s. This long one under the bridge is a foot long, just straight away. And yeah, they have some other little flowers and stuff sometimes they put on them. Every single piece is unique. And then let's take a look at the bridge. I'm pretty sure this is 3D painted. 3D printed. So for those of you, especially on my main channel videos, when I'm posting Warlock tiles and Dwarven Forge stuff, and I get comments like, it's not worth the money, 3D print it. Well, okay, so I will have someone else 3D print stuff for me and assemble it, glue it, clean it, and paint it. And then, yeah, I'm essentially paying just as much as I would for the other finished products. But I love that Eslo now does these 3D printed pieces because some of them are so fantastic, including buildings like this. So here's a little 15mm scale building. Let's put a little swordsman there. And you can imagine, without him standing up on that base, look at him next to the window, look at him next to the door. That's like spot on. That's absolutely perfection. And it looks fantastic. So yeah, Eslo Terrain flocks all this. Look at the little flower beds and the bushes and the vines and the little log piles and everything. On the bottom, they'll either carve their name into it or stick one of these stickers on here. One of my absolute favorite terrain manufacturers, bar none. You could actually fit an entire, I was just measuring this for the first time now, you could fit an entire base of Battlefields of Mana figures in this building if you actually wanted to. It would fit. I'm not going to do that because I think it'd be hard to get out. But absolutely would fit. Here's the little roof piece. Look at how nice the tiling. I have no clue, if you get up real close, you can kind of see some of the lines from the printer, I assume. But they mask it pretty well with the dry brushing and stuff on the roof. But there's a little chimney there. It just makes this building look complete and fantastic. So here's the building with the roof on. And we have a field, and like many people do, even if you do it yourself, they'll use carpet, which is what I assume this is. You can kind of tell from the back, but also the tufts themselves. So it looks like a fantastic wheat field, and then they flock the edges so it'll match up. Now, I will say they have their own terrain boards, which I have several of, but I like using these like neoprene ones a little bit more. But I love their terrain boards because you could lift the entire thing up if you wanted to. Like, you could not lift this entire playing surface up. But of course, if you were using their terrain boards, the flocking on the roads, the rivers, the buildings and stuff would look so perfect because it matches. It's the exact same shade of green. Here's another building. This one does not have a base, which I actually kind of like, because when this is on the tabletop and you're checking line of sight, all you care about are the corners of the building. Whereas with this one, I'll say at the beginning of the game, no, the template that this building is on does not matter at all. Line of sight is purely if it clips the corner of a building like that laser shows. But this is a little 2-story building, and the roof on this one also comes off. And it just looks awesome. So you get a few of these out on the table, and you have a whole village set up. Okay, what's next? Roads. Roads are even more diverse. So here's a little 45. I love the mud. Look at the attention to detail, how the tracks are darker than the other sides. Now, what was it that I kept hearing? Like, this look of a road wouldn't be like, this is a modern looking road, not a medieval looking road, because a medieval looking road, the center would also not have vegetation and stuff because a horse, unless it was, I guess, 2 horses, but a single horse-drawn carriage. Something about that. Everyone has to rain on your parade. People were posting pictures of these kind of terrain pieces and saying, oh, that's unrealistic because a 1-carriage horse, the horse would have trampled right through the center and you wouldn't have this. This looks more like an automobile drove on this or something like that. Anyway, I don't really care to listen to all that. Anyway, it still looks absolutely fantastic to me. Here's a short straightaway. There is also a long straightaway, which we have here, foot long. And there are 90-degree turns, just like with the river. There are 3 ways, 4 ways, crossroads, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there were no, not that I could find anyway, forks in the river. That would have been like the one other thing I would have picked up. But as is, just combining these curves give this such a fantastic looking feel. Same thing with the road, how it kind of winds. And that's pretty much everything we have here for this setup. I can't wait to get started. This is going to be my first battle on this table, pitting Regal Guard. We have a 4-point unit of halberdiers. We have a 3-point unit of light cavalry, 2-point unit of archers. That's 9 points of Regal Guard against 9 points of Lunar Knights, with 2 2-point unit of swordsmen, 1 2-point unit of mounted militia, and 1 3-point unit of mounted archers. So the way terrain rules for this is going to work is the field only hinders movement for infantry, not for cavalry. But if infantry go through the field, it's cut in half. Movement's cut in half. Movement also is halved crossing a river. As always, movement is halved moving through a forest. And movement is +2 for every movement action that the unit begins their movement action on the road. So for example, these halberdiers, when they get their first movement action, it's going to be +2. And if they continue on the road, by the time they get up to their second movement action, if they decide to take a second movement action, that will also be +2 inches. So, and that's why Regal Guard deployed halberdiers there. They're slow. If they want to get in the mix, they're going to need to double time it on that road. Line of sight is pretty much, as per usual with cover bonuses given thanks to the forests. Blocking terrain includes the 2 buildings, as well as if you're on the other side of the bridge. But if you are on the bridge, it's just a cover save. So you can still shoot at someone on the bridge, but they do get a cover save. But if someone's on the other side of the bridge and you're shooting them, that will be impossible. That'll be a blocked shot. So I think that's all the terrain rules for what we see here, but I cannot wait. Again, first time playing with this fantastic looking terrain. All right, folks, thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.